This week, the market is looking bearish once again. Bitcoin dominance is rising while altcoins are underperforming. Casper is down 9%, XRP is down 2%, SUPRA is down 10%, and VeChain has fallen by about 6.2%. It has been a tough week for the crypto market. What all this means, now categorized based on data in this video. Welcome to 10x Analytics, your channel for honest, data-based altcoin and crypto analysis. My name is Marius, and I always go through everything with you based on data. Every Sunday, a news update. But let's start right away with the news of the week. There are three in total. On the one hand, we have US inflation falling to 3.4%, right? That's definitely positive news for a start, because less interest rate pressure naturally also supports the stock, but also the crypto market. The chance for that, the hike chance, has dropped from 55 to 32%. Moving on to our next update, the SEC has officially decided to cancel the vote on their first crypto rule. So to speak, right? As I have mentioned it before, the Clarity Act has been officially postponed to the 15th of September. This naturally also means for the crypto market that the US regulatory rules remain open for now, and they will only be determined and finalized afterwards. And the third news of the week, US crypto ETFs with weekly outflows, right? So that is a minus $389 million, which marks one of the largest weekly outflows we have seen in 6 weeks. This clearly means that institutional demand for crypto is currently rather declining. So let's switch to the dashboard here. As always, we go through everything based on data, all macro data, so that you understand where the market actually stands and why. I'll explain everything and then we'll go straight back into the chart analysis. Let's start. The market as a whole is currently rather neutral. As I mentioned, Bitcoin dominance is steadily going up, right? Meanwhile, ETF flows are trending out, which of course isn't exactly a great sign. Inflation a bit better, but it still remains stubborn, and the Federal Reserve, the central bank, also remains rather firm in its course here. Fear and greed were at 34, so fear prevails in the market, still bearish. Altcoin season, right? The index is at 25, meaning Bitcoin season, also bearish for altcoins. Bitcoin dominance has seen a slight increase, currently sitting at 56.2%. The overall crypto market cap remains slightly bullish, primarily because we are now entering a zone where the market could potentially see a significant bottoming out process in the near future. Then we come to the derivatives, as always. The funding rates are currently neutral, open interest is also neutral, and regarding liquidations, we saw 185 million in leveraged longs and 125 million in shorts, which is generally rather bearish because so much was liquidated. Next, let's take another closer look at the flows and the overall liquidity, right? As I mentioned earlier, the Bitcoin flows overall were negative, but for that very reason, they have now risen back to neutral here. That is not exactly an ideal situation, of course. Exchange flows, right? Bitcoin has even been moved back onto exchanges recently, amounting to a total of 1.2 thousand Bitcoin, you know. This clearly means that some people might be seriously considering selling their holdings. That is exactly why I have included this specific indicator here for you to watch. Then there's stablecoin liquidity, which is more in the neutral range, and overall liquidity is bullish because M2 is actually rising slightly again. In plain English, more money is coming back into the market, and that's naturally bullish for risk assets. Let's move on to the macro data. We are generally sitting right in that neutral range there, and for the time being, the American Central Bank's interest rate is currently holding steady. Next meeting, looking ahead to September 16th. The current market probability of another pause, meaning no cut or hike in interest rates, is currently sitting right at 50%. The market is rather divided on that. Then the catalysts. What's happening in the coming weeks? As we previously mentioned, we have the upcoming FOMC meeting, followed by the release of new inflation data on September 11th. Bitcoin options are set to expire on August 29th, and Ethereum options expire on that same day. That is all the news for now. And now a quick update from my channel partner, Swissborg. If you are looking to buy cryptocurrency using a really solid, user-friendly app, from a reputable provider that is fully MyCA regulated, and you would also like to grab a €50 Bitcoin bonus right now, then you can simply scan the code right here to head over to Swissborg. They are my official affiliate partner on this channel, and honestly, they are a platform that I can truly and highly recommend to you. I use Swissborg myself because the app really offers several advantages. I'll link the Swissborg tutorial up here. But now let's dive straight into the chart analysis together. Yes, and here we are back in the chart analysis. We are analyzing everything. As always, we'll start with Bitcoin. Very exciting, this was here on the 23rd where a large red dot formed. A large red dot basically means that we now have a possible local top forming. You can see it here too. We rose, formed a top, and then it went down. Right, then we had a small green dot here signifying a possible bullish trend reversal. We then headed back up again. It was actually a decent rise, almost 3.42%. But then a small red dot appeared on August 11th. After that, a target zone also formed. The 10x indicator automatically forms a target zone by analyzing past data, and it also creates a central median, which is clearly represented by this dashed line you see here. The median was also hit directly. You can see it's slightly below here in some parts. Still, the move might not be over yet. It's also possible that we drop to minus 4.2%, so around 61,000 here. So I'd be cautious for the time being. Let's take a closer look at the bottom again to see what price range we are currently in, right? We can see we are slowly entering the oversold zone, and as longtime followers know, I always wait for the big green dot, as it signals a potential bottom, so I am just waiting for that to appear. So it won't be much longer until I start DCAing into Bitcoin again and getting back into altcoins. By the way, I share all of this in my 10x Invest membership. There, you're always fully informed about what I'm doing. For all the details, you can scan the code here to get more info. The annual membership is also very affordable these days. You can also pay with crypto there. There are many payment options. PayPal works too. But please take a closer look at everything and you will definitely get much more information there. Anyway, as I mentioned before, with Bitcoin right now, I am currently in a waiting position until we hit this specific range down here, and then it will finally get really exciting for me. Let's take another look at the entire altcoin market. There too, we had a small red dot right here. The target zone was slightly hit, but there's still room to go lower. We are seeing a very similar picture here as well. Now let's go through the individual altcoins. Ethereum? Ethereum has a big green dot right here. So you can see, right, potential bottoms, and they always turned out to be bottoms. But now, looking closely at the chart, the indicator clearly showed two potential tops right here. And then, most recently, there was a small red dot that appeared. And following that, the target zone was hit, the median was hit, and honestly, everything is looking great. Still, we have to be cautious because a drawdown might possibly go a bit deeper than expected. Now, what about Solana? How is it looking over there? We had a very interesting oversold zone here again, followed by a big green dot, which is quite significant. Then we rose again, but now there's a small red dot, a bullish, bearish trend reversal. The target zone was slightly hit, but there's still significant room to the downside. But Solana looks relatively strong. I have to say, anyone who knows my channel knows I have Solana on my radar for the bull run. Let's move on to XRP because something exciting has happened there, right? We saw it happen right here. Boom, a big green dot appears on the chart. We are currently sitting in the absolute oversold zone, and the target zone for this trade would be plus 5.5% for the move initially, right? The median is even up here at around over $1. Let's see how that develops. There was usually a significant move after this, right? A big sharp rise, but then the sell-off happened all over again, which is quite normal in a bear market. In a bull market, it's generally a bit easier to trade, isn't it? Anyway, as I mentioned before, we are in an exciting zone right now, a potential DCA entry point. If you always rely on those big green dots, then those can naturally be considered exciting DCA zones. Let's take a much further look at this together. If you want to stay up to date, follow me on 10x Insider. By the way, I also do XRP chart analysis there, and it's completely free. Then yes, KAS is exciting right now. I've already posted it here in my 10x Insider and especially in my 10x Invest membership. Here we have a small big green dot, right? We are bottoming out down here and we could possibly see a rise up to 6.3%, landing us in the target zone, right? So that would be 0.027238. It definitely looks quite exciting. And here too, right, this is possibly an interesting DCA entry point for us to consider taking. Who knows? In any case, I would definitely keep KAS on your radar for the bull run if I were you. Otherwise, there's not much to say here now. As I said, the big green dot has also been confirmed. Target zone. Let's see how that develops. Let's move on to internet computer. Also strong, but you can already see down here, by the way, the area, we're almost more in the overbought zone here because internet computer is performing relatively strongly. We had a small green dot here now. We also almost hit the median down here, up here, but now there's still significantly more room to the upside. Let's see how that develops. It could also be that we'll see a small red dot right now or soon and be sold off again instead. Then SUPRA. SUPRA is also exciting. We have a big green dot here, right? We're in the oversold zone here. You can see that target zone up to 17.8%, right? So there's still room to the upside here too, right? But it also always depends if Bitcoin goes down, for example, or the macro data isn't good, or the overall market isn't good, or something unpredictable happens like a black swan event, then of course chart analysis doesn't help either. For that, it has to be a stable market. In any case, it's still a positive sign from a technical chart perspective for now. Next, let's take a look at Cardano. Yes, Cardano had a pretty strong move here. If we look at it, that's a 31% gain. But now we're seeing a big red dot. Watch out, right? Possible top formation, and then we were sold off too. Minus 20.7% is the recorded maximum drawdown of the target zone. But we've arrived at the median. So the 10x indicator is relatively accurate there. Otherwise, there's nothing to say about ADA here. We're slowly getting back into the exciting zone here. VeChain. How does it look with VeChain? We recently had a small red dot here. Bearish trend change, right? The target zone was also hit perfectly here. It was even slightly exceeded. Otherwise, though, it's like a textbook case, so to speak, right? We're also slowly entering the oversold zone now, so it could get exciting, but at the moment I'd be in a waiting position there too. Alchemy Pay, how does it look over there? In the end, we actually had a small green dot appear here just now, but it is not yet fully confirmed, so there is no target zone to speak of just yet, right? Also, the target zone, the median was hit. We went down to this level, and now let's take a moment to see if the green dot really confirms the trend, and if we can identify a new target zone appearing right over there. Otherwise, with Alchemy Pay, we're more in, how should I say, the middle range, right? It's very stable, not bearish, not bullish, right? We'll have to keep an eye on it. Then VRA, Veracity. Many of you requested it. I've now included Veracity in my analyses. First, for context, it's important to see that we're now in the overbought zone. Exactly. You have to be careful here. It is possible that a top formation could occur right now, and that would likely lead to another major correction. And you can see that here too. We are here now, and we just had a big green dot appear right here. So this could be a possible bottom. After that, we also shot upwards. Now a small green dot has formed. The target zone was even exceeded, so very bullish Veracity, I really have to say. But now, as I said, from my personal view, be careful there. Wait until we get into the oversold zone here, and then exciting zones could emerge again. In the 10x Insider, I also do regular chart analyses on Veracity, then you'll be up to date. Yes, that was all for the chart analyses. If you want other altcoins that I should include here in my weekly analyses, then write it in the comments below so I know. And if you don't want to miss that, feel free to subscribe to the channel now so you really don't miss any videos like this. I'll also be making exciting news videos next week, introducing a few more altcoins, so there's a lot going on again. And one small announcement, I'm really going to focus my channel on crypto now, and stocks will be a separate channel. But there will be some news about that in the future. This way you can focus fully on crypto again on this channel, and if you want to follow stocks, there's a separate channel for that. Info in the video description. So I'll link a video here that I made recently. Very, very exciting. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.